And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
I can't catch a break, guys.
Yeah.
Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys.
People think, oh, well, cleaning your room, that's just a cliche. It's like, yeah, really, eh? Just go ahead and try it.
If people had any idea how powerful sleep is for healing from anything, and the fact that it's free.
My mind is absolutely bulletproof, solid as a rock.
Podcast. So, Paula, welcome to the Fighting Fit Show. How are you keeping? You well?
Yeah, all's good, Stephen. No bother, no bother.
All's good. Good to hear. And come here. So, the purpose of today's podcast is to just share your Fighting Fit journey so far. I know you've been a member for a long time now. I was checking your profile earlier on, and it looks like you've been a member since, what do I have, July 2018? Is that correct? Or that's as far back as our record goes anyway?
That's wrong.
Before that. What is it, 2017?
I actually checked. Well, I knew it was 17 in November 17, but I actually checked it yesterday, and it was the 13th of November 17.
The 13th of November.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's on the paper book. Do you remember you used to have the
Yes.
paper book?
Yes.
I was just actually looking at my goals on that, and it was the short term was to lose, I think, £7, and the long term was to lose. Oh God, I forget now. I don't know whether I think it was actually £21 or something like that. Anyway.
Deadly.
And to be able to do a push-up and a burpee. Now I'm not so sure that I can still do them correctly, but I try my best.
Listen, one thing, Paula, you're definitely a trier.
Oh, I am.
You give your heart and soul into everything you do. So yeah, so okay, see, because on the new system that we use, the records only go back as far as July 2018. So that's kind of all the data I had.
Right,
and did you what kind of? Because I can see from July you've lost. I can see here it's about 30 pounds, just over 2 stone. From July, from that 2018. Did you lose much weight before that?
In total, I think I have about almost 3.5 stone off me.
3.5.
Yeah.
So you had wow, good going.
Yeah, a bit off before, obviously, your records or updated.
Before we started using the new app and getting all technical and fancy.
Yeah.
Deadly. And come here. So what kind of, for anybody who doesn't know you, because I think one of the things with health and fitness is like everyone's always like, oh, it's easy for them. So kind of just to give anyone who maybe doesn't know you or your background, who is Paula? What kind of struggles were you facing before you signed up? And, you see your work life, family life, all that good stuff.
Right. Well, I'm married to Jim for 33 years and I have 3 children, Janine, Cormac and Porrick, and I work full time. And I have been round the block trying everything from Slimming World, Weight Watchers, Unislim, the Academy, shakes, soup diet, and I was at every gym. Well, not every gym in town, but a lot of gyms: Oak Gym, Aura, JJB, Carrickdale. Did it all, but and they will work. It's not that they don't work, but long term they didn't work for me. Definitely not. I lost a bit of weight and put it back on or whatever, and this is the one thing that has worked continuously for me. I do put on a bit of weight and take it back off again, but I've never put on a lot of weight. I'd say the most I've put on is maybe a half stone with yourselves. And Porrick, my son, was with you, and he was getting great results. And I can't remember now, he lost a couple of stone in a couple of months. And I thought, oh, I'll give this a try. Tried everything else, try this. And I didn't lose it as quick as him, but he was only 21 at the time, and typical young fella just fell off and melted. But unfortunately, it didn't melt off me. So, it has been a struggle. All my life, I battled with weight. I used to say I was born fat. I'm looking at these things since I was at school. So it is a lifetime battle with me. I never lost a huge amount in any one week with yourselves. It was just always chipping away at it, Now I did the Kickstarter there, the last one with yourselves, and maybe second last one. And I lost almost the stone. I didn't quite make the stone. And that was the biggest weight loss I had in a 6-week period. But I was really strict on it, and the calories were quite low for me. So that's probably what helped as well.
Yeah.
But no, overall, I'm not one of these overnight successes that lost whatever in a couple of months, 3 stone in 3 months or anything like that. No, definitely that was never me. So if I can give inspiration to anyone that is only seeing a pound or two or whatever on the scales, just stick with it, you know.
Yeah.
For me anyway, you know, that's and I can't even say really what was different this time. Well, obviously the whole routine and the setup was different, but maybe the whole structure of your program is different, you know, and we know it's not a typical gym. But it's not like even going to a gym where you're handed the program and you just walk away yourselves. You're constantly being watched and monitored, and like Brandon would be on the ball every week and how did it go this week, and you wouldn't try and bluff him. There's no excuses with him, so he's on your tail all the time. And even in the gym, like, you're constantly pushed to try a higher weight, you know. And even when I don't believe myself that I can do it, yous believe in us that we can. No, just try it, and even if you only get 2 reps done, you know. And like even this morning I was doing this squat, but I do the assisted squat because Brandon said I don't go back far enough and I can't keep my feet in the ground, but I held it for the 5 minutes. So Sam said to me, why don't you even try it the next day for 10 seconds? So just things like that, you know. There's always encouragement, you know. So
and that's kind of really what we kind of aim to do with the program, is to try and make having a coach that a little bit more accessible. Because I said a lot of gyms in town are fantastic, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of it is just getting access to really nice equipment. You might get a program on a piece of paper, but there's not a lot of follow-up, not a lot of coaching, not a lot of accountability, I think, is what a lot of us be missing, really. I was actually chatting to somebody the other day, and I was kind of thinking, like, why did we make the program the way it was? And it ended up being because, like, when I went to college and I ended up gaining a rake of weight, when I fell out of sports and this kind of stuff, I tried all the gyms as well, and nothing really worked for me, because again, you'd sign up, you'd be excited for a week or so, and then you kind of fall off track and there'd be no follow-up. But it was only when I went back to boxing then. And when I went back to boxing then, I had the regimen. I had the right four nights a week. I had to be accountable to my coaches. I had deadlines. I had championships and different targets that were set for me kind of along the way. And I was trying to, through Fight and Fit, kind of try and replicate that. And also with the club, is like, then there's a great sense of the community. You feel like, you know, that you're part of somebody, that you don't want to let anybody down, and this kind of stuff as well. So really trying to make it as much like the boxing club as I could, really trying to really replicate what worked for me with other people, because I was thinking, like, you know, if it works for me, it'll work for other people. And obviously the combination of fitness, nutrition, support, and the accountability, somebody's going to check in and, like, listen, life gets in the way all the time, as you know. You know, and there's obviously going to be fluctuations here and there, and that's just normal. I feel like life comes in different seasons. There's some seasons for losing weight, and there's some seasons for celebrating, and there's other seasons for maintaining, and it just kind of depends what your life situation is at that minute, because we're all kind of carrying different crosses. But I really do think, really have to commend you for, like, you know, for your consistency. You know, very, very, very hard worker, very consistent, always kind of plowing along, half a pound here, maybe half a pound back on, and maybe 2 weeks no progress, and then a pound, and then, you know, so everything you've got, you really do deserve it so much. What kind of advice then would you have for anybody kind of is in a similar situation to yourself? Like, what would you say somebody who has been frustrated? So I know you said, like, you know, stick with it, but is there any kind of habits or routines that you found has really worked for yourself?
Well, I find using, first of all, the MyFitnessPal, I use that most days. I'd use it. So it's good for tracking, because you don't realize the amount of calories you eat until you start logging it. And I really found that useful when I was doing the Kickstarter challenge, when I was limited to the 1,200 calories. And I remember the first day I said, geez, I can't believe my calories are gone already, you know. But I had been using it before that, but obviously I had more calories. And the pictures as well, you know. I mean, when I look back at before, I thought, I knew I had weight on me, but when I look at the pictures now and compare them to now, that's where I see the real difference, you know. And I actually sent one to Brandon a while ago, a few years ago, and I was horrendous in it. And I said, oh my God, I can't believe that I thought I was okay. Like, you know, well, not okay, but whatever. Yeah, just things like that, and just tracking as well, taking pictures of your food and sending them into the group, and it's just all those little things, and they all add up, and just staying in contact with your coach. I mean, they're there to help you, and you know, if you're struggling, like there's many's a time I've sent a message through the app to Brandon and saying really struggling this week, and he'd say, right, we'll have a call or whatever, and you know, give you a little target. And another thing I like is the little challenges that you set. You know, he might say he knows I'm not very good at running. It's not that I'm not very, I hate it. And he'd say, right, well, you just try and run 1 kilometre today and build it up and whatever. And I'll do that for a while and then I'll stop again, you know. But just little challenges like that. And if you take them all on board, they do kind of all add up, you know. So just things like that I find is very motivating for me anyway, you know.
Yeah, no, I think the challenges are kind of cool because they can keep things novel and they give you kind of a nice short-term goal, something to focus on, something that kind of mixes up the usual routine. And that's why the kind of things like the Kickstarter challenge can be super successful, because again, people love having a nice short-term target. I know, right, 6 weeks, I know I can stick to something for 6 weeks. People kind of creating this big lifestyle change and this giant overhaul can seem like, all right, 6 weeks, let's do that. And then the key then is having the coach there or somebody to support you in the maintenance phase to make sure that we don't just blow it all up in a weekend and gain all the way back.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even you see there, at the minute I'm doing the 100k, like a lot of people for breast cancer, and you know, that's there's days I wouldn't feel like going for a walk, but because I signed up to that and I'm logging my kilometers, I'll do, if it's only 2k in a day, I'll do it just to get something logged because I want to get it done in the month. So just things like that. I do think the little challenges are good as well that you set, you know.
Yeah, and he said kind of the key thing again there was like obviously the tracking is so important, kind of, because again the tracking really comes down to being accountable and I think being educated, because so much of the stuff that we do can be kind of unconscious. We just don't know. We're not aware. Geez, I didn't realize that there was X amount of calories in that glass of wine, or X amount of calories and then snacks that I was eating, and you pick up 300, 400, 500 calories in a couple of minutes, really, of kind of mindless snacking.
Flash, absolutely. Or you don't realize what carbs are in, you know, as well. If you're kind of stuck watching your carb percentage on the MyFitnessPal, like, you know, they're in everything, in fruit, and vegetables, everything. You're going, oh Jesus, I didn't realize that, you know. So, it really
is a balancing act, trying to get everything right. But for anyone listening as well, kind of the two key things, if you're kind of feeling a little bit kind of overwhelmed with kind of what to focus on, where to start, like the two key things is calories and protein. Just make sure you're trying to stay within your calorie target, because the calorie target, if it's set correctly, is based on your height, your weight, your age, your activity levels, all that kind of stuff, to make sure that you're in an appropriate deficit to lose weight, as well as in making sure that we're eating enough protein to make sure that it's complements the training program that we're on, and in high protein diets, you know, they're going to keep you full for longer, and help you kind of recover as well. Because I know a lot of people thinking when say like 1,200 calories, you know, 1,200 calories can be quite tough for a lot of people. But the reality of the situation, and I know we said like with who was it? Not Cormac, Porrick, with the weight loss. Like the thing is, because men and women are a little bit different. Men tend to be a little bit bigger. They tend to burn more calories just sitting on their arses, really. You know, and it's like, this is it. And it's kind of more, it's smaller, more petite people like yourself. I think you're only 5'2", is that?
Oh no, 5'4".
5'4". So it's kind of like cars. Like the bigger engines, the bigger cars, but the bigger engines use more fuel. So unfortunately, that's kind of the way it can be. So a lot of ladies might struggle with that. And we've got two choices always. It's like we can reduce the calories coming in, or we can put more calories out. And usually, putting more calories out can be the easier thing to do. But if you want to lose a decent amount of weight in a relatively short period of time, you really got to get that calorie deficit right. Any tips for anybody who may be kind of trying to lose weight, and like in terms of kind of staying full? How did you kind of combat the hunger? Is it something that you kind of maybe just adapted to, or any tips on staying hungry when you're trying to watch the calories?
Well, protein.
Protein.
Yeah. Now, initially, obviously, when you're starting off, you do be hungry, whatever. But I do find protein really fills me up. Like I eat eggs every single morning for my breakfast. I do often comment here that we'd need chickens out the back. We go through that many eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, eggs, creature of habit, eggs every morning. And then I would always have I'd have protein at every meal usually, you know,
Yeah.
and then I would have the shake as well. But yeah, definitely I notice the days that if I have more carbs kind of than protein, if I'm not being good, I've noticed those days that I'm hungry, you know, and I'm waking up hungry. Whereas the days that I eat the correct amount of protein, I'd sleep and the next morning I'm not hungry. You know, I just really find protein fills you up longer, definitely. Which is something else I learned from yourselves, you know, like going to all these other things, as I say, you get like Slimming World, it's all carbs nearly, but like sure, you know, you're hungry all the time for more, you know, so I do find the protein is better.
Yeah, no, 100%. And what advice would you give yourself, say like maybe a few years back, kind of starting out in this kind of new weight loss journey? Like what would be your number one piece of advice to yourself to maybe, or maybe what was the biggest lesson that you've learned that's kind of helped you over the last couple of years?
Well, probably just tracking your food all the time. Like I think that's very important, you know, and just sticking with the program. I mean, I would go in 4 times a week anyway, but usually 5, you know, and it just has become part of my life now, you know. I just I just love it. You know,
that's great to hear. And again, go on.
I love the intensity of it. I know it's probably not as intense now with the new system, but I love that you were in, you were out, and you were busted after 30 minutes and you were done for the day, you know, and there was no mess and no hanging around. It was just in, get it done and out, you know. That's what I like about it anyway.
Yeah, that's it. You'd be surprised what you can get done, because our whole thing is like is I just said, it's like routine and consistency. We'd rather get you training, say now it's 40 minutes, used to be 30 minutes, but get you training for a pretty short space of time, 4 or 5 days a week, rather than going to the gym twice a week for an hour and a half. And
and Jesus, 30 minutes on the road, 20 minutes on the rower, and 20 minutes on the cross trainer, and you're just so bored, like, you know. So that's what I like. I like the intensity, and I used to love in the old gym there when you do the 3 things, you know, you'd have the bags, the strip, and the gym. I loved that, so I did just something different, you know. But look,
you know, hopefully we can get back. We can get back to doing something similar to that. I don't think it's just with the COVID restrictions, because obviously everyone has to have their own space, their own equipment, all that stuff. So fingers crossed we get, because the circuit train is my favorite. Set at a big circuit, 10-15 stations, and kind of do a couple of laps of the room. We kind of really like that train as well.
I understand.
How did that brings you on to the next one then? Kind of with the lockdowns, with the COVID situation, how did you handle that? Because I seen even just in your graph there, you're on a pretty good streak the last couple of months. So you've managed it well enough, or better than most, I'd say.
I did. I stuck with it at home. I knew that if I give it up, I'd never go back. And apart from not going back, I just knew that if I give it up, I'd lose all my fitness. And I just could not go back to where I was. I mean, I remember the first day I started with yourselves, and I didn't know whether I was going to cry or get sick or maybe do both. It was just horrendous. So I just could not go back there. Plus, above all years, I'm going to be mother of the bride this year. So I really can't afford to put on the weight. So I stuck with it. I know I probably, maybe the second lockdown, I didn't work out as hard. I did the classes, but I think I was just getting a bit fed up with them now, you know, and I was doing the replays as opposed to the live classes, and that was just pure, just not doing what I should have been doing, you know. I knew it was the easier option, you know, that sort of way.
You're kind of just going through the motions.
Going through the motions and fighting with myself to not do a class, you know, making every excuse under the sun. And then I just say, oh, Jesus, just do it. And I would do it. But I'm glad I stuck with it, because I just would hate to think where I would be now had I given it up. And I know, as I say, I wouldn't have went back. You know, I just couldn't have started from scratch again. So for me, it was a great option to have the online classes. And if you had asked me 5 years ago, would I ever do online classes, I would have laughed and said, not a chance. you know,
Yeah.
because I would always have thought, which I do know, that I need someone kind of standing over me or pushing me or whatever. But I felt that I still had that, even though it was being done remotely, you know. So for me,
and this is the thing. Look, and this is the thing. Like I think we all love the crack of kind of training in person. You know, we're kind of like there's just a good energy to it. It's nice having somewhere to go, get outside the house, and this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I said we had to adapt and overcome. It's like we had a choice. We'd like stop or make the best of the situation at hand. It's like, you know, the people who are kind of reaping the benefits now, I think, you know, made the best of the situation at hand and said, listen, we'd all love to be training in the facilities, but that just unfortunately wasn't an option. So what we tried to do was just try and give you guys the best options available, trying to be as flexible as you could, sessions in the morning, afternoon, evening, the whole lot. And then the key was, I thought, accountability, keeping people accountable, keeping in touch with people, or trying to reach out to people a lot more. Because we knew we wouldn't be seeing this in person. It's nice when you can nab somebody at a clash, like, oh, Paula, get up there and get a wee weigh-in done.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Brandon doesn't miss an opportunity. Did you weigh in today? Did you weigh in this week? And I was trying to tell him I weighed in on the Saturday. No, this week started yesterday. Did you weigh in or did you not? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he never misses an opportunity. But anyway.
This is it. And then, come on, so what do you think? What are you most proud of, say, over the last couple of years? Any maybe fitness achievements and like that? Because obviously, again, you've done incredible loss over 3 stone with the weight.
Yeah, well, obviously, I'm delighted with the weight loss and my fitness as well, and just being so motivated in myself, I suppose, that I continued this journey and that I stuck with something for 3.5 years. I've never stuck with anything, any gym, any slimming club, anything this long. So for me, that's kind of what I'm proud of. Yeah.
Happy days. Congratulations. Honestly, genuinely, said it's not very often that people stick with things that long, and again, that's why you've been so successful.
As I said, Stephen, I'm trucking to these things since I was at school, and that's not today or yesterday. I'd say I must be one of the oldest people in fighting fit, but there you go.
One of our legends. What other advice would you have then for maybe somebody who is that little bit older? Do you think maybe they tell themselves, oh, it's too old, I've left it too long?
No, definitely not. No. Go for it, surely, because you're only pushed to your own limits, and what you can't do, like my aunt goes there now, my sister, and there's things she can't do because she had a brain hemorrhage years ago. But like you have worked around her, she can't do burpees and a lot of that. So you can work around people. So the same for someone that maybe feels they're older and it's not suitable for them. Right, you're not going to go in and do 20 burpees in a minute or whatever. So you just tailor it to their needs or whatever, So I definitely that age put me off.
And that's kind of the great thing, obviously, isn't about having the group or the coach at the group session, because the coach is there. They can tailor things on the spot. They are pretty well educated, pretty experienced at this stage. So they can kind of, as long as, again, good communication with your coach is key. Just letting them understand.
Yeah, tell them
where you're at,
what you can and can't do. Like, and you're not going to be made do something that is outside your comfort zone either. So definitely go for it if somebody feels that they're older or whatever, and I'd like to be able to continue it anyway for a long time.
Yeah, you will always be welcome. I said age is only a number. I said all you can do is show up and do your best. As long as you're willing to show up and do your best, that's all you can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so what do you think? What's next, Paula? You've never done a hell and back yet, have you?
No, funny, I had signed up for it because I liked that. I used to say, oh, I'd love to do it, but I don't know if I'd be able to do that and whatever. Then I signed up for it, and then COVID happened, so I never got.
So this was the one.
But I'd like to do that once. So I would, definitely.
That's the bucket list item.
That's on the bucket list, yeah, definitely.
Anything else on the bucket list? Anything else after kind of a year of kind of COVID and lockdowns, and kind of what are you looking most forward to now? As kind of fingers crossed, we hopefully see the back of the lockdowns forever.
Fitness wise, is it?
Well, just fitness, life, travel. What have you missed the most?
Yeah, God, yeah. I'd like to be able to travel and go on holidays and that now. Well, I hope to get to Croatia this year. Jim's niece is getting married in September, and we're hoping to make it there. And yeah.
September, fingers crossed.
Just be able to get out and about again and be able to go even around Ireland, you know, just there's such beautiful places in it, just to be able to see all the places and that, you know, so just to not be stuck the way we were in the house and seeing nobody, like Jesus, you need to interact with people, you know.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Well, what is your favorite staycation, or what's top of your list for Ireland?
Oh, for Ireland, well, I like Kerry and Donegal, Galway, but the more kind of remote kind of places of it, you know, that sort of way. But now I do like, don't get me wrong, I love the cities as well, but I like to get out to these places and see. I like going to a beach as well, and somewhere close to the water. I like that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah.
There's a beautiful place we visited last year out in Galway, I'm pretty sure it is. It's Dogs Bay.
Oh, right.
Did you ever see it? It was viral there last year on Instagram. Absolutely beautiful. It really did feel like you're at the Bahamas.
Really?
Beautiful white sand. Absolutely incredible. But the whole west coast of Ireland is it really is incredible.
Yes, yeah.
So anyone listening,
not last year, the year before, we went over to Achill Island, and Keene Beach is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Gorgeous, yeah, really lovely spot. But yeah, there's beauty in Ireland all around us, like, you know.
Yeah, especially out west, but even more so kind of here at home. Like we're lucky enough we have the more mountains on our doorstep. So
oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Must get out and do a little bit more hiking hopefully this year. Maybe we'll organise a couple of group hikes now over the next couple of months.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, I never went on one of those either. I don't know why. Maybe the time didn't suit or whatever. But I know that you did organise all those before, and you seem to have the crack on them.
Yeah. No, fingers crossed. That's something that we're really looking forward to, myself and the coaches now, kind of, because we kind of were so detached from everybody. One of our favorite parts of the gym really is kind of the community element, the fact that everybody kind of so close, there's such good crack. But one of the things that the community events really help kind of cultivate that, I find, and I feel like we were missing that over the last kind of couple of months. A lot of people that we've members for months now, we have barely even talked to them, you know. So it'd be nice to kind of.
I know, yeah. There's so many new faces, like.
Yeah, so it'd be lovely to kind of get people together, maybe doing something like a hell and back. That might be a little while off, but I think people were talking about going and doing some sea swimming, doing some hiking, maybe paintball and go-kart and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, right, very good, yeah.
So we'll see what the future holds. And again, and finally, the last one, then I'd just like to say is, again, because we got who do we got? We got Miette, we got Jennifer, we got Paula, we had Pork at one stage as well. We had a lot of Renaghan's in with us, which obviously, and I said in the group the other day, like, one of the best compliments anybody can pay us is to, you know, to bring their friends and family. That kind of it's one thing saying it, but to actually, you know, bring your friends and family along is just fantastic. From our perspective, we really appreciate it. What is it like kind of having everybody involved kind of in Fight and Fit and kind of
it's great. I'm always singing the praises, saying it's not like a gym, it's not like this, it's not like that. And even when Paula Sorahin was joining, and you know, I was trying to explain to her that, you know, because there's not everything she would be able to do with her disability. And I was saying to her, now, don't expect it to be like Felda when you go in. It's not going to be like that, but they will be able to work with you and whatever. So she's absolutely loving it, you know. So I love and they love it. And like, even when Miette was joining, she would have done a lot of walking, was what she did. She always hated the gym. Yeah. And I said, but she felt like as she got older, the walking wasn't enough for her. And I said, should just try Fight and Fit or whatever. And she said, okay, whatever. And I think at that time you had to join for 12 weeks. And I said, just do the 12 weeks and see how you get on. And then I remember towards the end of the 12 weeks, I said, well, are you going to rejoin? She said, oh, God, yeah. You know, she just got sucked in, and now she loves it too, you know. And then Jennifer, of course, she got great results too. So it's just one of them places. I think I do often say it's a bit like a cult. When you're in, you can't get out.
I'm not sure if that's that's one of them things that we're kind of we're proud of it, but we're unsure about it as well.
Oh no, once people stay, then you know they're happy.
Yeah, that's it. It's just trying to kind of be that place where people where they can come, they can feel comfortable, they can work out, be proud of themselves, feel like they're making some sort of progress.
Yeah, of course.
Because for us, we do believe kind of progress is happiness. We find people get depressed when they're stagnant, when it's doing the same thing over and over again. But fitness is fantastic because it's a fantastic way to stretch your comfort zone to all these little mini milestones, like lifting the heavier weights one day, or just every day, or even once a week, just having something that you can kind of be proud of yourself for, or even on the weeks that maybe you haven't made any progress, but you stuck with it and kind of it's almost like we're destroying all these limiting beliefs we have about ourselves and the things that I couldn't do that, I couldn't do this, and then the coaches help you. They kind of nudge you out of them stories and they nudge you outside your comfort zone, and then before you know it, you've got this whole new routine and this whole new identity, which is fantastic.
Yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, you believe in us when we don't believe in ourselves, and even now doing the new program, those little tests at the end of the class now, they're a good way as well to see, are you moving on or whatever, and you're delighted if you go up a little notch or whatever. Well, I am so just things like that. And then it's the variety of the class as well. It's not, okay, it's going to be weights of some description, but it's not the same class all the time. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So
that kind of the little bit of variety is the spice of life, as I say. And then the whole thing with the level method is hopefully now the kind of reason behind that is hopefully we'll give people now something to focus on that's not just weight loss related. Obviously, a lot of people sign up for weight loss, which is fantastic. Yeah. We try and do that as best as we can, but at the same time, it's a much better mindset, I believe, to be trained to get fitter, faster, stronger. To be improving your level, because it's all obviously fitness related. So trying to get that level of trying to go from a yellow to an orange to a blue to a purple, and trying to make sure that you're training to get fitter. And the focus then becomes, right, what am I adding instead of what am I losing? So it's like I'm adding. So that's it.
I agree with you. Yeah, because probably, I don't know, I'd say a lot of men and probably a lot of women too are there for the whole fitness thing as opposed to the weight loss, so it is good for that reason, and like even the boxing there on a Saturday, it's not all boxing, and I'd be trying to funny, I was talking to Jennifer the weekend and I said to her, do you go to the Saturday class? And she said, no, I don't really like boxing. And I said, well, I don't really like it myself, but I do it, but it's not all boxing, it's just, there's always a mix in there somewhat, but you don't know what the mix is going to be till you show up, so just things like that. Right.
But honestly, Paula, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. We genuinely really appreciate kind of all your loyalty and commitment over the years, bringing your friends and family. It has been amazing. It's been privileged to be part of your journey so far. I know Brandon has nothing but great things to say about being your coach and you as a client. Because I said it doesn't always go your way. Kind of you're slow and steady, as they say, but you keep at it, keep your head down. You always put in the work. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, right. Thank you, Stephen, too.
Cool, guys. Well, listen, everybody who's been listening, that is Paula Reneghan. I said if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, please do leave them below, and we shall see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, guys. See you in the next one.